just kidding. Hi, I'm Jaylen Barron, and you're now tuned into the LIQ podcast.
You are now tuned into the LIQ podcast.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the LIQ podcast.
Hello.
Thank you for being here today. That is a little loud for me too. I'm gonna tone that down. Hope that doesn't affect y'all too much. Whoa, how you feeling today?
There's a lot of people in the audience. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. It's big popping today.
It's growing. Yeah, I'm doing well.
Man, today we have a special guest with us, and I feel like we have like a real celebrity, not like an internet star. Like, you feel me? There's a difference.
Joke.
Whoa, there's a difference.
There's a significant difference.
Yeah.
'Cause in my household, when I mentioned the name of this particular individual, all like mayhem ensued. People were running around the house. I'm not joking. Jumping up and down on the spot. And I'm like, all right, this is a big deal. I learned that day.
That's so sweet.
Hold on. Let me see what's going on. All right. So today we have a special guest. She's been on Showtime. She's been on Netflix. She has an actual series going on, and it wasn't just one and done. They actually have, what is it? What do they call them? Seasons.
Yeah.
Seasons, right? She got the call back, all that good stuff. I actually met her at a house party.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, met her at a house party, and I'm like, yo, you look like you're popping. She's like, no. I'm like, yo, what's your Instagram? And I looked at her, she was trying to be humble and all that. I found out she was popping.
Very
Yeah,
much
after
so.
that, we've been mad cool.
Yes.
But man, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jaylen Barron. Let's go. Yeah.
Yes.
Fire.
Welcome.
Jaylen, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling great?
I'm feeling real welcome because we're in La Puente, so you know how
Thank
that goes.
you.
I'm feeling
Yes.
real comfortable.
Yeah, big
As
city
you should.
vibes. She hit me today. She was talking about that earlier. She's like, yo, I'm going to show up super bummy, super chill, super poppin'. In my head, I know her because I've chilled with her before. I'm
Right.
like, she just has to get ready. Once she
Sure.
starts getting ready, it's going to be a whole different topic.
You know, I was like, I'm gonna just pull up. It's the old hood. I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
no makeup. I'm gonna wear an oversized T-shirt. I wore an oversized T-shirt, but with makeup, so it was fine.
Yeah, fire.
But Netflix stars can't just pull up like that, right? Netflix stars, you guys, you live on another planet, right?
You know,
That's the
Netflix
perception
star
of them.
is just such a strong word. I wouldn't even say I'm a Netflix star. I'm like, yeah, I'm on Netflix, but I wouldn't say like star.
You might not say it, but
Well, see, this is the thing, right? So I haven't got into free reign. And then we saw an episode and my house started binge watching. So it turned into like, oh, wait, like, yeah.
and there's no gas in here. Like, this is facts.
Oh, hey, okay, I'll accept.
We'll take it.
This
I'll take
really
y'all
happened.
compliments. I'll take them.
Really?
I guess so. I'm on Netflix. There we go.
Take that. Take that.
Cool. How's everybody's day? How's everybody's weekend? Everybody cool?
Doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well.
I cannot complain.
The holidays is here. Has anybody ate a holiday plate yet?
Not yet, but it's about to get crazy, mate.
I ate my first one yesterday. Well, I had two parties to go to yesterday, right? So I hit the first one, and you know when you got multiple ones, you got to like space it out.
Right.
So I had one, go to the second one, and they gave my cousin that's not the most responsible dude the turkey. I had a dip. Like, I'm like, yo, I didn't even get to get my second plate, so I left hungry at the second one. Everybody's just sitting there like, yo, when's this turkey coming? In the room, I'm like, you know what's crazy? There's mad people in this room, and we're waiting for one bird. I don't know if that one bird gonna feed us all.
Right.
I had to shake and make a dip, but yeah. What do you guys usually do for the holidays?
Probably just cook, be with the family, relax, a whole bunch of family vibes. Nothing too crazy, you know? I mean, I'm not really a fan of turkey.
For real?
For real. I'm not going to lie. I feel like it's kind of dry.
I like the dark meat of the turkey, the juicy part. And then my mom, she's really good at the stuffing, so she like stuffs the turkey with the stuffing and you get all the juices from it. So we use the turkey basically.
It's all in the brine, mate. You got to brine it.
What the heck is a brine?
You basically dunk the turkey in a bucket of
like
water
yeah.
with salt and all types of seasonings, right? You leave it there overnight. The next day when you cook it, super juicy.
I still think it's dry no matter how good you cook it.
You're welcome to come over and try a little bit of our turkey.
And join us and do all that good stuff. Yeah, I thought it was super cool that I was watching some of your stuff online when you were on, I think it was KTLA or something like that, and they're asking you about the holidays. She's like, tamales.
Oh, yeah.
And you look
Yes.
like you don't speak Spanish like that at all, and the accent came out. You speak Spanish fluently or no?
That's gonna go on unanswered.
Oh,
I don't want to be dragged.
Okay.
Because I don't want to even be like Spanglish, and then people are like, okay, Spanglish, like that doesn't even count, but that's what it is.
Yeah, like for me, like I only know how to translate what I want. When it's talked back, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna need to figure it out.
Can you like elaborate a little bit? Like hang on, don't talk so fast.
I could order great. When it comes to receiving it back, I can't do that.
Did you see, bro? Though he'd be like, "Oh, he's like, I like the way you pronounce that."
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Sir," I was like, "Thank you."
I'm surprised though that you would say that you're scared to be dragged, because the industry that you're in, right? You're constantly being judged,
Right.
And we were talking about this earlier on. And you must have developed, or have you developed a way to be able to handle that type of feedback? Should we call it that?
Yeah, I think I've been able to build up like kind of a more tough exterior because of the industry, but I mean comments still like get to me a little bit, like 100%. I'm not like immune to it. I mean, sometimes I'm just like, okay, like I'm fine, like I can ignore it the rest of the day, but I'm fine for that day. But then it's so weird because like literally it'll be like a couple weeks later, and then I'll think about it, and analyze the comment, and then I'll ask people, I need to stop talking with my hands. I'm like, is that what people think of me? You know what I mean? So like I'm fine for that day, but it's just the couple weeks after. It's like when you watch a scary movie, that night you're fine, but then it seems like a month later you're kind of creeped out because you're thinking about it.
Like the seed was planted.
I feel like you think about it when your insecure moments hit. You feel me? When you're in your confident, you're busy, and you're all this stuff. It's when you have free time and you're thinking about things. It's like when those little lies come in, like, oh shoot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Those lies come in.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. Negative Nancy, we gotta get her out the room every time.
Man, because when I tell insecurity is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
And I think it depends on the kind of person you are, because it could really affect you, and then you project it. So then you treat other people poorly because of how you feel on the inside. You know what I mean?
I don't know what book it is. I forgot what book it is, but it was basically saying like what people project out on you, it's a reflection of them, not you.
No, 100%.
So I remember it was in this garage actually. I had one of my no longer friends. He came in and just started going off, and I had just listened to this audiobook, and I'm sitting here and I'm just taking it all in, right? And in my head, I'm like, all right, how much of this can I take? And as soon as I was done with it, I said, all right, I don't agree with what you say. You just kind of got to dip now. Like, you feel me? But I understood. Had I been in my head and been like, man, that is me. Like, to wear those things, it would have kind of like messed with me a little bit. But to understand, like, he's showing me where he's at.
Yeah. You become a way more peaceful person, and like a way more understanding human is when you realize like how people are behaving towards you. It's a reflection of themselves. So if they're treating you kindly and nicely, they love themselves, they're happy with themselves. If they're giving you genuine compliments and they mean it and things like that, they're good with themselves. But when somebody is always constantly having to be negative and bash somebody down and have something to say, that's just them. And then you don't even have to defend yourself or defend anybody else, because you're like, you know, like I don't even need to like.
At what point do you turn bougie on?
Bougie is on all the time.
Okay.
But that's the doesn't always mean being bougie or bougie. It doesn't mean you have to be like snooty and mean. Like it means you're carrying yourself well, you're confident, you're comfortable with yourself. And then when you have all that, you're bougie. You can still.
That's her alter ego, by the way.
It's my.
Thanks for bringing me in on that.
It's my lash brand. So
yeah.
It's my lash.
Fire.
I wanted to ask you some questions about that, but also too, something that you just said, right? When people are insecure, they tend to project that onto other people, right? That's a huge amount of self-awareness, right, for yourself to have developed. How did you develop that?
The industry, being in the industry, is like there's a lot of catty people across the board, and if you don't realize that they're not fully comfortable with themselves, then you're always going to be constantly criticizing yourself. So like it's like if you're having a bad day and you're in a bad mood and like it happens, but you realize that like, oh, did I not say that like in a nice way to that person because you're having a bad day? It had nothing to do with them. And once you realize, like I said, it's other people, then you're peaceful, you're good, you don't need to defend anybody, you don't need to argue.
Living in peace is important.
But you know, like there's so many famous people that go down the wrong path, right? Instead of developing that self-awareness, what they end up doing is trying to change themselves physically, emotionally, in every other way to satisfy every person that's got an opinion of them, right? And so how is it that you haven't gone down that
Well, I
dark
mean,
rabbit hole.
I struggle with it every day, you know, like I see people on Instagram and I'm like, why don't I have that? Like, why don't I look like that? And why don't I have that kind of success? Then I'm like, yet. I don't have that success yet. So I become comfortable with myself because I know it's just all about manifestation, and what you put out into the universe, you're going to get back. So if you spend all day hating, that's all you're going to receive. But instead, appreciate what you have right now and live like you have it right now.
So what are you reading, listening to that develops this type of stuff within? Because come on, this doesn't just pop into your head.
My mom's really big on like manifestation and the universe. So I have like a whole vision board that I look at every single day.
And that's important. That's the footwork.
That's big.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the footwork
It's the first
to
steps.
dealing with the inside. Yeah.
And like what I do is I write in a journal, and I write 10 things that I'm thankful for every day. So I say thank you for blah blah blah, and it'll be small things. It'll be things like thank you for waking me up. Thank you for giving me warm water to shower in. And I feel like that is really like the base of how to be comfortable with yourself. And like it's the small things, it's the details that I think people forget to realize.
Does your everyday life, how does that translate to your image online?
Oh, I'm a completely different person in real life than I am online, for sure.
And does your and so there's, I guess there's 3 levels of it, right? There's your everyday life, there's your online, and then you have your actual career that's basically being viewed online, right? So does your image online affect your job? Like, do you have to move certain ways because you play like a children, like
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, I feel like anybody should keep everything professional. So, like, I try, like, but we're all human, you know, so I try and keep from cussing online. I try and keep from doing certain things. But, I mean, you know, we're living. It's life. You know, you can't be perfect.
Yeah, because I found it interesting because it's like you play a 15-year-old on TV. And you're not 15. And it's believable when you watch it. You get me? And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But it's like, how do you go out into the public and not, it's like everybody's perception is like, oh, it's a 15-year-old. But it's like, no, that's an actual woman.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I think, you know, and a lot of people forget on Instagram, they're like, you're too young to be looking this grown. And I'm like, girl, I am grown.
yeah.
But like I said, as long as you're comfortable with yourself, like, I don't mind looking young. I don't mind playing a young character. I love it, if anything, because that just means like
you got the fountain
in God's
youth.
grace, I'm gonna keep working.
Everybody's like, yo, you got a young face. I'm like, it's the coconut water.
Yeah, see, and
It's the coconut water.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You don't want to when you're 50, you're gonna be like, thank God I look this young.
It's true. But you know what? It really surprised me. It wasn't until I've got 4 daughters, right? And they all love you. They love the show. Yeah. And so when they're watching these television shows like Descendants, right, those movies, and Free Rein and these other shows, and they start to, oh, I like so-and-so, I like so-and-so. Oh, she's only 15. And I'm like, yeah, actually, nah, she's like 25.
Yeah.
Or 23.
But things like that burst their bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it makes them be like, no.
It shows them the curtain in Hollywood. Yeah, behind the curtain.
It kind of burst my bubble a little bit because I was like,
Nah, bro, listen, I
wait.
was shooting with her in Hollywood, right? We're on the street shooting, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand star power until I seen it happen in real life, right? And, well, first of all, not everybody knows what to do when a camera goes on.
Right.
She put it on quick, and I'm like, oh, that's tight. Okay, cool. There's not much direction that needs to take place on my end.
Right.
Cool. She's like, what you need? Boom, 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 boom. We start doing all the facials, right? Then once that's happening, it's Hollywood.
Right.
It's the boulevard. You got every walk of life out there. She got proposed to. She got somebody to ask to be her boyfriend, and she's like, oh, sorry.
Wow.
Like that, yeah.
Actually, there's no wow, because something that should be said to the listeners is that you're like Instagram pretty. And what I mean by that is what you see on Instagram is what you see in real life.
Oh, thanks.
And you know
Yeah,
that's not
there's no
always the
catfish.
case.
There's no catfish happening on this side. Yeah.
You're really gorgeous, right?
Thank you.
And so I was curious too, with that, right? And you being on these types of shows where kids look up to you, do you feel any sense of responsibility on social media from the perspective of this? There's a lot of young people that compare themselves, right? And go into depression, anxiety, all these different types of things because their life doesn't live up to those that they're viewing. And so knowing that, how does that affect your interaction on social media?
You know what's so funny is that, like, I mean, I I do feel like I have kind of a responsibility, but at the same time, I'm the same way. I look at other girls on Instagram and I'm like, look at their life, look at how they're living. But then like you realize they're not really living like that. That's not real. Not all of it's real. You know, not all the relationship goals are the goals that you should want to attain.
Yo, did you guys see that picture that went viral at the hockey game or something like that? Was this little white dude and his white girl? She was taking a picture with him and he was just all sitting there like this.
Oh,
and then he smiled and then he goes, and it went like super viral, and it's hilarious because it's like a perfect representation of that. You get me? And like, I only like to live in real moments because my camera has allowed me to be in front of a lot of like internets,
right?
I guess I would say, and you just see like it's not what it is.
Yeah,
it's just yeah. And that's
so
a hard. That's a hard.
I hate phones. I hate phones.
Yeah.
Really?
I hate them.
Why?
I hate. Okay, like,
me personally, I love technology.
See, I'm not good at it at all, because I don't like it. But I just feel like you said, the whole thing about living in the moment. Nobody does that. It's always like, oh, let's put out our phone, let's record this, let's record that, and it's like, why can't we just chill? We're all just chilling. We're all having a good time. Why do you have to record everything? I don't want to be recorded. What if I don't? What if I want that?
Do you feel? Have you got that? I've been in that situation where it's like, people are treating you like the actress Jaylen Barron, and you just kind of just want to be the person in the room.
I wouldn't
like, you know, when the phones come out and you're just kind of like, oh wait, I don't want all that right now. I just kind of want to.
See, I wouldn't say it's that, but people have this image of me before they meet me. So before they meet me, they're already making a prejudgment, right? And the judgment is, oh, well, she's an actress, so okay, she's about to be mean, she's about to be rude. But like,
she's one of the coolest persons I met, by the way.
I'll be chilling. And like, but then when I get there and I'm like, hi, I'm Jaylen, they're like, oh, hi, thanks, welcome. Oh, this isn't this isn't the Grammys or anything. I don't know what you're used to.
They did the
like,
disclaimer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, sorry, it's not a fancy cup like I know you're used to. And I'm like, girl, no. And it's really weird because it's people who build an image of you in their head. And like, it's not my responsibility of what you think of me or what you built up.
Yeah,
that's so true.
So let's get into a little bit about your relationship with like Showtime and Netflix and how that all kind of came about. What's your relationship with them right now, and kind of how did it all start?
Well, hopefully my relationship with them is good. No, but like Shameless, I was 17 or 18. No, I was 18 when I was on that show, and so long ago. But I literally just auditioned for it. I didn't even watch Shameless before I was on it. I'm sorry. Can we turn my voice down a little bit? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
no, that's all right.
Yeah, so I didn't even know what it was before I auditioned. I went on the audition. I got a call back. They told me, oh, you're so good for this role. I was like, yeah, thank you. Like I was telling you before.
Yeah.
And then they were like, are you available from these dates to these dates? I was like, yeah, I am. And then they picked me. And when I tell you, I was so excited because it was my first like grown-up role, if that makes sense. And I got to act kind of out of the box. And then I just did it. And I did the thing.
Is there a difference between working with Netflix and Showtime, or is it just you're on set? So wherever that's distribution, right?
Yeah, you're on set and that's it. There's no difference. There's really no difference. Yeah.
So have you got Disney Plus beef right now? Considering your...
Are you trying to get on Disney?
I'm trying to get on anything. Anything
that's popping. Yeah.
I do not care. I don't care. You said Disney beef. That's funny. I'll be like, y'all want to hire me?
Nah, but it's crazy because I feel like Disney's trying to take over the whole like platform, right? And Netflix is kind of killing the game right now, but Disney just had all kinds of error and people like problems with like the logins, and people weren't able to get into their accounts, freezing and all that. But I feel like Disney right now is the Popeyes of streaming services right now.
Netflix is Chick-fil-A.
I have no comment.
That's good. That's good. She's been media trained. Well done. You passed the test.
Y'all see what y'all try to do.
No. I'm honestly curious on how that works, because there's so many artists that come around me that do music, and they're like, yo, I got this Netflix. Everybody has a Netflix plug, and I don't know how that works, but supposedly it's $500. This is what I was told from an artist,
right?
Apparently, and you can get your show on Netflix from something, or I don't know, whatever. And I feel like if that happens, it would become more of a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just to have somebody that's actually on Netflix here. I just have actual questions about it because I hear everybody talking about it, right, but they're not actually on it.
You want to know something crazy?
Is
that like if you think actors like we're all in the loop, like they're telling us everything that's going on. That's not true. So like what you know is probably what I know.
Wow.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, it's just a job.
It's a business.
It's a business. And they're like, it's an oil machine. Like, that's it. So we go on set. They call us when they need us. When they don't need us, we go to our trailer. And then we go home. And then, like, I literally don't think we found out when, like, season 1 was premiering till, like, a week before it premiered. And you'd think that we'd know the whole time. We don't. And then we also don't know what's going to happen to our characters until we read the script. Yeah. So.
Are you naturally a reader, though? Because, like, I know for me, if I was an actor, I'd be like, damn, I need somebody to read this to me because I need an audiobook version of this. I don't know how to read. And then when it comes to scripts, do you have to memorize everything, or do you get fed, or like, how does that?
Do you get fed?
No, like,
fed
lines. Fed lines, yeah.
No, not at all. I'm not a reader at all. I'll only read if I need to, or if like if it's some information that I want to find out more on. But they'll give us a script. I'll read it so I can have an idea of who my character is going to be, so that way I could build her up in my head. But because
for me, that's the hard part. Translating paper into a personality.
Oh.
You get me?
Yeah.
Like, because you're reading it and you understand, but it's like, okay, I have to be this, or I have to do that.
But that's where
like
your training comes in, right?
Yeah. Well, they'll get in the script, they'll give you a description at the top. So basically, like, for free, an example, it says Zoe, 16, lighthearted. She walks into the room, happy to see her grandpa, and she sits down and slowly realizes what the turnout's gonna be. So, and then I'm like, okay, I have this idea. And then the first line will be like, hey, grandpa, how are you doing? Because I'm happy at first. And then as the conversation goes on, it's literally like real life. That's how I translate it. It's just a conversation you're having with somebody that you had already had, that you memorized.
Gotcha.
So what type of training did you have?
I didn't have any training when I first started acting. No, I just go to acting class like once a week. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm about to go to Hollywood, mate.
You know what?
But you know what?
You could do it.
I feel like females are some good actors, though, bro. Just naturally in life.
Wow.
You know, that's what I feel. Just me. That's what I'm feeling like.
Here we go.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah,
I mean, we can go into different like lanes of it, different dynamics of it. You know what I mean?
In relationships, obviously.
Yeah, as far as in relationships, I feel like females understand the power they have, and they like they do what they need to do to get what they need to get. You feel me? Guys is more like I feel like guys are just dumb, and I'm putting myself in that category. You feel me? Because I'm just doing me. Like, I don't care what the outcome is or what's going on. Girls put this whole thing on like it's a whole setup. You feel me? They ask questions knowing the answer. Guys will ask questions not knowing no answers at all. Girls have done research. They've Google searched. They've Instagram searched. They've done all the background work, and they have a whole team of girls that have helped them do that. You feel me? And then they ask you, so what'd you do yesterday? You're like,
and they got the whole load down already.
And then the script is like action. And cut.
You know what? I think you're right.
See?
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
Up to film.
Not all females. Okay? Not all females.
Not everybody's good at acting.
I know for me personally, I will set up a question knowing the answer to it. For sure.
Is there anything wrong with that, though?
You know what?
Yes, there is something wrong with it.
Break it down.
There's something wrong with it because you're asking the question knowing the answer, right? But you don't really know what they're going to say. There's not a script you could follow. So basically, we're setting ourselves up to be upset because you didn't say what we wanted you to say.
Exactly. Like, I got hit with a question yesterday. and I got hit with a statement, right? And at the end of the conversation, I was like, well, I feel like what you actually meant was this. Like, this was the actual root of what you're saying. And if that's what the actual root is, like, I actually apologize because I didn't mean that. And it's like, oh, yeah, maybe that was it. You feel me? And so I feel like just point out the elephant in the room.
I don't know.
You feel me? Like, let's just get it out. Let's play cards on the table.
But see, when we do that and we lay all the cards out on the table, we're crazy, right? Or we're pressing you. When really it's like, we're just asking a question.
Nah, because it's like, how was your day? And it's like, how was your day doesn't mean, how was your day? It means like, yo, how was your day? Because I know you did a lot of shit I didn't like. You feel me?
But I think there's something to be said for giving people an opportunity, right? To either to prove themselves loyal.
But who are you to, like, who? Why do we have to prove?
So here's the thing. If you're in a relationship with someone, there's a little bit of echo, reverb.
Hold on. Let me...
So yeah, I think I think there's something to be said for asking questions when you know the answer in certain circumstances, right? Like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you want to give them the opportunity to be able to prove their loyalty and commitment to the relationship.
Or right? Friendship.
Or friendship. I think asking the question and giving them that opportunity is a good thing, right? Because then you know where you stand with that person. You don't need the argument. You don't need anything.
Giving somebody the chance to speak where they're coming from. I agree with you,
right?
1,000%. But it's the playing dumb like you don't know. That's the part that's like, okay, like now you're trying to play games. Like, okay, well now you're just as in fault as I am now because we're all playing games. And so like it's this cycle that goes in a circle. But if we lay it out and say, okay, cool, this is what it is. I'm going to hear you out now. What is it?
Right.
You get me? It's that upfrontness and the directness of it.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. So how is it for you being able to deal with, I don't want to know who you're dating, but handling, like getting into relationships and stuff like that. Is it as challenging as it seems?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I would say so because I mean, I don't date any actors. Like it's not for me, you know, because we're both like, I'm already stressed out. So I need somebody who's just easygoing and who can calm me down. I don't want two stressed out beings do not need to be together. You know what I mean? But it is difficult because then like, I feel like some guys, they get a little bit insecure. And then, like I said, the whole projection thing, like they project it on you. So like, I'll never like throw what I do in your face. Like I'll never be like, oh, well, guess who does want me? Like never that. But still, it seems like no matter what you don't do to make sure that their ego is protected, it still upsets them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And like, it's
but that comes with insecurities, right?
Yeah.
Because of like, so does that also stop you from just dating people that don't understand the industry?
Yeah, but then like if you date somebody in the industry and say they are popping, then like they're so then what's left for you to pick from? Right. Exactly. No, I wasn't looking for that answer. I was looking for like, where do you actually look? She said, right. Like, no, for real.
Like,
right.
Where?
No, but exactly. Where do you look from? I think anybody who treats you nice and is solid, you know, and who has a good foundation and a good background, but that's hard to come by nowadays.
And that takes time, right? Getting to know that person.
Exactly. And I'm already really young, so imagine like a boy or like a man who I'm trying to date, like they don't have that mentality yet, so you're trying to like protect their ego as well as do you like 100%, you know,
because we were even talking about it last week with Marky D about nowadays people want to jump straight into the physical side of things, whereas as we're talking right now, you want to even figure out if this person's right for you before you even, well, I'm assuming.
I feel like guys just want to test drive the car before they buy it.
That's an interesting way.
Yeah.
But I don't want to delve too deep into that. Yeah. But like in this day and age, basically people, it seems like they're not willing to take the time in relationships and building relationships. Is that just an assumption that I'm making based off what I'm seeing on social media, or is that consistent with your experience?
Well, I think I don't think what you do sexually can determine how a person's going to act. So I feel like you can do something immediately and y'all stay solid for years, you know, and then you can have a guy wait this amount of time, months and years, and he can still act up. So it really just depends on the person. And I think it depends on what your preference is and how they act and how they behave and who you pick and choose. Because if you keep picking men from the same kind of group, you're going to get the same outcome.
You are so sorry, and this is a compliment. You are so level-headed.
Thank you.
I'll be honest.
She's not 15.
It is possible to make assumptions about someone based on their social media and stuff like that. Even my son, he was like, man, she was really nice. I expected, you know, because she's an actress, she's famous. I thought she might be a bit stuck up, but she was wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
fire.
not only are you really pleasant as a person, but so level-headed and like beyond your years in that way.
Thank you.
That's not normal.
So on your social media and even knowing you a couple years back, I've seen kind of your not come up, but your progression, and I seen that you landed a couple like magazine covers. Let's talk about that because I from the outside looking in, I'm like, yo, that's fire. Like you see the growth, the climb, and I'm like, yo, that's heavy. And some of the pictures that came out in those cover shoots were amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a photographer, as knowing what it's supposed to look like, I'm like, yo, those hit, those landed, those are great. So, how did that feel? How did that come about? And what magazines were there?
Basically, I have a publicist, so she sets up interviews and stuff for me, and magazines will reach out to her company and they'll ask for a specific person, so they asked for me, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it, why not? So I take pictures for them, and then they post them, and then they interview me. It's really simple. That's it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What magazines were there?
Taylor magazine, Rein magazine, Jammo, Teen magazine. There's a few.
That's fine.
And do you get a say in how they portray you in these magazines?
No, I just have to literally, it's nothing.
You
is
show
up to
up.
me.
Wow.
Yeah, like so they'll pick the theme, they'll pick the mood. They'll ask me like, oh, do you like that outfit? Do you like your makeup? And then I'll be good to pick and choose from there. But yeah.
And I think it's cool too because it's like I feel like acting is your career job, right? And it's something that, like you said, you don't really have much say-so in, but what it does give you is attention and star power. And now, like, you've turned that into your own company and your own business with the eyelashes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bouger Lashes, or like Bouger.com, hopefully I can grow it into I will grow it into something bigger and greater. And I just become like,
and this is more personalized, right? It's not so much it's out of the
it has nothing
to do with
it has nothing to do with acting.
Got you go ahead.
No, that's dope. I'm curious, just going back to the magazine a little bit, and even your acting as well, right? Have you put in place certain boundaries to make sure that you don't compromise your true values?
Yes.
Just to get a role? Like, have you put in what are those? You don't have to tell me what the limitations are, but
no, it's fine. I like if I see something with nudity, I will stay away from it. Something like that, because I don't want everybody to see my goodies. You know? Something like that, I will stay away. But that's pretty much it. Anything else, anything else like cussing or anything like that.
Have you done a kissing scene yet?
Yeah, in Shameless, I was wilding out in Shameless.
Yeah, and what was it? Was it your first time kissing on set when you through Shameless, or you had done it before, or
no?
Was it awkward?
Shameless was my first on camera kissing. I mean, he was insinuating he was, over my skirt. Does that make sense? So it's like something like that is fine. So it was like you don't see me, but it's all innuendos. Does that make sense? But yeah, so that was awkward. I did it like 10 takes. It took me like 10 takes to be able to get my lines out because I did not know what to do with myself. I was like, oof. And you know what's crazy?
So is it actually like real kissing, or is there a lot more thinking involved when you're doing it on camera?
No, it's real kissing, but the directors, like, they'll guide you in like, okay, you guys, less of that and more of this. Like, so, make it more innocent, make the kiss more innocent, or put
you're enjoying it too much. Cool out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's you have any other questions for her?
Yeah, so have you turned down any roles?
No. No, I haven't. One day,
It will
I'll
happen.
be big enough to do that. But not
That's
now.
fine.
Now I'm just like, anything, anybody can give me anything. I'm like,
Oliver Twist.
more, sir.
Yeah, that's funny as hell. All right, well, let's go through some phone calls and then we'll just kind of dialogue through them and then we'll see what happens. This segment is brought to you by Cell 2. Man, I don't even know what to say about them. They're just good people. They fix phones, they sell phones, buy, sell, trade. Be sure to tap in with Cell 2, and this is the first call. Let's get it in. Where are we at? All right, that's good.
Hi, this is a question for Khalik. I want to know, why are guys so insecure when they have a beautiful ass woman? You know, they've had up and downs before, but like, you know, they can never just get it right the second time. Like, what's the deal with that? You guys help me out. Appreciate it. Bye.
Okay.
Wow. That's we kind of touched on it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not just in your walk of life; it's in all walks of
Yeah.
life, right? that
So
men get
it's
insecure.
the second time around. Why can't dudes just get it right? That's the question.
What do you mean it's the second time around? What does
She
that mean?
said, you want to hear it again? But basically, like, she saying, what's up with dudes? How come they just can't get it right?
That's harsh, man. Like, we got issues too.
Yeah, but she's speaking from her personal experience.
Okay.
Right? And
But like she was saying, men like always say like, I want a girl who gets her own money. I want a girl who has her own stuff, like her own job, all of it. And then they get it and they don't know what to do with it. So it's almost as if some of those men don't want that. Or they want something in between. Like, I mean, I'm with her.
I
What
feel
is
like,
it?
yeah, no, I feel like in relationships, period, responsibility is the biggest thing that people don't take.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, okay, yeah, this dude messed up on me, right? Or this dude did X, Y, and Z that I didn't like, right? And it's easy to do this and point the finger, right? It's easy to say, you did wrong, you did this, you did that. But it's hard to say, okay, well, what can I change to get a different outcome? You get me? What can I do, or what did I contribute to him making those decisions? And
Right.
or is it just out of my control where he's just gonna make those decisions and I shouldn't have even went back the second time?
Well, I think it is out of your control.
Yeah.
Right? You can never. I was listening again. That geezer, Eckhart Tolle. He was saying that if you want to change the circumstances that exist between you and another person, change you. Because you can't change that person. And if by changing you, they don't change, what they're doing is they're communicating who they really are. And then at that point, you have a choice to make.
Yeah, and I don't think so much to change because I don't feel like we can control people or their actions. But what I mean more so is just taking responsibility for what I'm actually doing wrong, because it's easy to point fingers.
Right.
You get me? But it's
Right.
the saying, you know what? I did this X, Y, and Z wrong. You get me? And I did this wrong, and maybe I should try a different delivery.
Right.
And if I get the same response and I switch my delivery or I switch my approach, then maybe the outcome would be different. And if it's not, then I got to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Because if you're going through the same thing and you're expecting a different result, like you said last time, that's insanity.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, if you pick from the same kind of group of people who you choose to date, you're gonna get the same exact outcome.
So to the homegirl calling in, swim in a different pond.
yeah, let that man go. Let that man go.
There's a lot of other ones out here, baby girl. All right, here we go. Next one.
Hi, this is Tanya from New York, and my question is, how come guys, if you're dating them and they're your boyfriend, don't have an issue, or most of the time don't have an issue with you, like, hooking up with girls, but have an issue with you hooking up with guys? Like, I don't understand why that's okay, but the latter is not. It kind of baffles me. So I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Bye.
Cool.
Bye.
I like that one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it's just like men are very territorial, and there's a double standard. So that's why he is like, yeah, you can hook up with girls, but no other man can
Like a
have
guy
you,
is down to have a threesome with
Yeah.
two girls, but not with two dudes.
Because it's like I said, it's their ego. It's men's ego. They see you as their some men see you as like their property, and you're theirs only to have. And if you want to share your body with other men, then like he gonna have to be okay with that. You know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, if that's for you, because if he's doing it with other girls, why can't girls do it?
Yeah. And my thing is, personally, my take on it is, I like too much attention to share with any sex. You feel me? Guy or girl. Like, it's like, no, I don't need, if my attention is being split, I'm with this person so I could have their 100% attention. Yeah. Like being involved in, I feel like there's a gateway. I don't know, because there's some people that are just opened up sexually. And it actually, like, they're into it because there's a whole world of that, right? But for me personally, like, I feel like that's not a door or a gate that I want to open, because I feel like, me personally, the way I'm built, I can't deal with multiple personalities, multiple feelings, all that other stuff. I'm just kind of like, I just want to deal with that. You feel me?
I've never done anything like that, and I never will. I'm happily married, but I think that
you saw how many kids he got.
Man.
Almost 15 years in.
They spread them out apart. All his kids are 18 months apart.
Something like that.
Equally, they did the math.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot. But I think male chauvinism comes into it too. I think that the what society has built, right? The expectations of a man are that no other man can come near your woman. Right. So I think that has something to do with it. But now with the whole Me Too movement and woman empowerment, like, that's not flying anymore, man. Like, women are recognizing their true value, their full worth, right? And it's interesting because when I look at my wife through that lens, right, this new way of looking at it, I'm like, she's more powerful to me. Do you know what I mean? And it's actually more... what's the word? She's more attractive to me in that way. Like, I love seeing her in that capacity.
Yeah, I feel like women, it's attractive to see a woman own their femininity. Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then like to watch her take care of like all of your children. Of course, you're taking care of them as well. But I'm saying like what she just did right now. Like, she's like, okay, everybody, like, let's go. It's like, look at her working,
holding
over
it down.
You said, I'll see you when I get home, baby.
You'll be holding down. Right. That's fire. So to answer this question in short term,
right?
It's not okay.
Nah,
it's not okay. Either way.
Well, she asked why, right? Why is it like that? It's because he is not the person for you. That's why.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Period.
All right, let's go to the last one and see what we got.
Yo, Kalik, it's Matthew Ralston. My question is, what is your true definition of success? Oh, he hung up. Oh, wait, never mind. Oh, shit. that was my question, brother. All right, see you.
All right. So first of all, I got a couple of questions, and everybody's calling me Kalik. It's Kalik. For the record, I want to get it straight. Kalik.
Yeah, he's from Turkey.
Leak like water. All right. So what is your guys' definition of success? Let's talk about that.
I want to hear you.
My definition of success is when you're content and you are happy. That's when you know you're successful. Because no matter how much money you have, if you don't feel valuable within yourself, all of that money is not going to matter. Sure, there's going to be a whole bunch of people like, oh, you got it, you got this. And it's like, oh, but I don't, you know? So I think success is when you're happy with yourself. That's when you're successful. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. Sure, I mean, like, you know, you can see you could see, but that's society's measure of success. Like, who has the nicer car? You know, somebody could be driving a Rolls Royce and then somebody could be driving, you know, like a messed up type of car. But what if the person that messed up type of car is way more happy than the person in the Rolls Royce? The person in the Rolls Royce could like go home to an empty house. They're not happy with themselves on the inside, and they're not happy with anything. So that's society's measure, is like your possessions. It's when you're happy.
Would you say you're successful in that definition?
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, I think I'm good where I'm at right now, but I'm not at where I want to be, like emotionally and mentally. So am I successful with like my job and things like that? Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm doing good for right now. But inside, some days I have down days, and I know I need to work on that for myself. So I wouldn't say I'm successful in that, because your mental health is important.
Yeah, I feel like in going off of what you were talking about, success is it's something that that people are trying to reach for, a constant reach that you can never really grab, right? And it's almost like how do I say, this unattainable thing, right?
It's insatiable, right? It's like a thirst that will never be quenched.
Yeah, and my thing is, I had to learn this through finding myself. Like, life happens every day, and I don't focus on I don't focus on 3 weeks from now. I focus on like today, what's going on today, and I try to get smaller victories than trying to just look at my life, because I feel like when you look at the bigger picture, you can start to feel unsuccessful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you could compare yourself to anybody. You can compare yourself to somebody who's your age, and they could have more. You know, it doesn't mean that they're happy on the inside, though.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting because something that I tell my kids is that you should, number one, never compare yourself to anybody else, including your siblings, and you should aim to be better than you were yesterday. If you can do that, then that will give you fulfillment. And it's funny because I feel the most fulfilled and the most successful when I feel like my relationship with my wife is on point, like we're continually growing. I feel most successful when I've spent quality time with my kids and they feel I've filled their cup. Do you know what I'm saying? And I can tell by the way that they're behaving, like their cup is full. I set myself goals at my job, and when I attain those goals, I feel successful. And like you said, it doesn't always revolve around money.
It doesn't revolve around possessions at all. No, it's how you feel on the inside about yourself.
I forgot who I heard on a gram today, but somebody was saying something about waking up every day after he gets out of the shower. He has a couch right outside of the door with a stack of Post-its, and what he does is every day just kind of maps out his day.
Right.
And when he maps out his day, it's kind of like he bases his successes off of achieving those things that he mapped out to do.
Right.
Yeah. And for myself, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like, okay, did I do something today? You feel me? Did I not just waste a day? Because life comes and it goes, and you can't get time back.
Exactly. And on that point, I've done that myself, where I've listed out those things. And what I've struggled with in the past is I didn't achieve everything. And so what I've done in the past is beat myself up. When in actual fact, I should look at the things I did do and celebrate myself. And so there's been days where I've literally left work and I'm like, hey, great job, man. You did this, and this. You'll come to those things tomorrow, but well done. Great job.
Yeah, and that goes into like writing down things that you're thankful for, like the small things, and that makes you feel successful, you know? Because like you said, like you have days where you're like, I am a bum. Like I feel like that. Like I feel like I'm like, why didn't I book that? Like, what is wrong with you, Jaylen? But then it's like, nothing more will come for you if you're not grateful for what you have right now and what you're living in right now. Sure, it may not be what you see on social media, but you should be grateful for it, so that way more comes to you. Because without being grateful for what you have right now, there's going to be nothing else for you, because God's going to be like, okay, bet.
I bet.
Take that away.
And I feel like if you're chasing, because I've caught myself there, right? Like I'm chasing the grind and chasing the grind and chasing the goal and chasing the goal and getting caught up in the chase. I'm like, yo, I'm not even enjoying life right now.
Right.
I'm missing moments from chasing.
Right.
And so I literally have to be like, okay, you know what? It's okay to feel like you're wasting time to just enjoy. Don't forget to enjoy.
Yes. Yes.
You
be
get
present.
me?
Be in
present.
the moment.
Yeah.
And it's funny that same guy, he was talking about even folding clothes, right? A lot of the things that we do in life are a means to an end, right? And he said that if you don't enjoy the means, you won't enjoy the end. Right? That process.
The means to an end. Kind of break that down for me.
So means to an end. Yeah. So the things that you have to do to get to where you want to go. So if you're not enjoying this process, when you get there, you're not going to enjoy that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he even says like small tedious things like folding clothes. Take your time, because it's almost like meditation. It slows you down, right? It stops you from just being constantly trying to attain that thing, and it brings you into the present moment. It's a bit mental, but I wanted to ask you, do you do any meditation, prayer?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, 100%. Like in the morning time, I'll try and stay off my phone for until about, I want to say like 10 o'clock, until after 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I know it's not super late, but I mean, for most people, it's late enough.
That's great.
But like I said, I'll put on like some meditation music that I have like a playlist on my phone where there's no words. It's just literally pure meditation music. And I'll write in my journal. I'll get up. I'll make my bed. I'll go downstairs. I'll eat my breakfast. And then by that time, it should be time for me to go to the gym. So then I'll go to the gym. I'll listen to my music, come back, take a shower with the meditation music on, and then I'll start my day.
What's your definition of meditation? Because I feel like everybody has a different version of it, and there's not a right or wrong version of it. So when you meditate, describe what actual meditation is to you.
To me, it's
like, do you just sit there and be quiet?
A quiet room, and
you
then
close your eyes. You open.
No, I don't close my eyes because I can't sit still for that long. But like I said, I'll just focus on things that I have, and like I said a million times, like things that I'm thankful for. So that's my version of meditation. So anytime, and I've like trained myself, so anytime I have a negative thought, like my meditation will instantly kick in. I'll be like, I am willing to believe through the process of manifestation that I will book something when it's my time. So
timing is everything.
So and then like if I'm beating myself up or so over something, I'll just immediately stop what I'm doing, say that in my head really quick, and I think that's a version of meditation.
Yeah.
And I'm not an expert in meditation by any stretch of the imagination, but for me, I need to quiet my mind sometimes because it just won't stop. And so for me, what I do is I'll sit down, close my eyes, and I'll focus on the sound of the pool pump.
Oh,
right?
okay.
The pool's pumping, it's pumping, it's pumping. I focus on that.
The pool or
the
pulse?
Sound, pool. Pool.
Like
P-O-O-L.
yeah. I had to get clarification real
Pump,
quick.
right?
Yeah.
So I focus on that sound, and when a thought comes into my mind, I literally discard the thought and refocus on the sound of the pool pump. And what I just come out of that feeling a lot more relaxed, and I've stopped the constant flow of thoughts.
That's good.
Do you know what I mean?
That's good.
So I'm not deep into meditation either, but one time he went on vacation and he had me house sit for him in Glendora, and he lived in Glendora Hills where you just oversee like the whole city. It's a beautiful like view, crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm finding myself in life right now. I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to meditate. So what I did, I got this song that just hit me heavy, right? And I just had it on repeat, and I went out there and I just closed my eyes, because like me, like closing my eyes for a long time is a discipline, right? Like I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Either, yeah.
And so I felt like if I could force myself to do that, I can just literally find something different than just the normal whatever. So I'm there and I'm closing my eyes, and like for a while I felt like, okay, you see, like you can still kind of see lights or whatever. And then the more I just started to just think, it allowed me to get lost in my thoughts. Had a great time, shed a tear, all that good stuff or whatever, right? A week later, I'm in this dude's backyard doing this, right? With my eyes closed for like an hour. A week later, this dude moves because there was bears in his backyard. And I'm like, yo.
And you were just chilling out there with
like,
your eyes
come on,
closed.
dog. Like, I'm over here trying to find peace, and now I got anxiety with it.
Yeah, we were living in the wilderness, man.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's funny. So we're going to end it like this. We do a segment called Dear Internet. And basically, you just face the camera, and this is anything you want to say, your last words to everybody listening and paying attention to you. So, yeah, you could drop a nugget, you could promo, you can do whatever you want to do. You can make it long, you can make it short, however you want to do it. But Dear Internet, that's how you're going to start it, and then face that camera and go ahead.
Okay. Dear Internet, stop comparing yourself to others, because what's meant for you will always be for you, and nobody can take that away. No matter how hard it is, no matter who has what they have, if it's for you, it's gonna be for you, period. Also, Bougie Lashes is back for Black Friday. Just letting y'all know that.
Cyber Monday?
Cyber Monday.
We're on and popping. All right, whoa, any last words?
No, you know what I really enjoyed about this is because I had a whole bunch of questions around your Instagram and the way you present yourself and stuff like that. And what was beautiful about this is that somebody as beautiful and successful as you is willing to be as vulnerable and open as you are, right? And communicate a message that I feel like is genuine and authentic. and is a message that like people need to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what your bank account looks like. Everybody goes through stuff.
Yeah, even the Instagrammers, even the Instagram models, like, don't believe everything you see online. Trust me.
And I feel like that's one of the main objectives of our conversations that we have here is just to kind of bring that in the room and just kind of normalize things. Have conversations, because there's an art to it, there's a discipline to it, there's like it's like a skill.
It is.
Conversation is a skill, and to be able to have that open dialogue and conversation is a point. But till next time,
Yes, sir.
it's the LIQ podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
See you later.
Bye.
Yay.